Hello and welcome to our special Bring Back the Cup. Why is it that we're calling it that? Because remember, the Indian team are the defending champions of the Asia Cup. Now we are less than 3 weeks away from a new edition of the Continental Championship. And once again, the Indian team goes into that tournament as the favorite. It's a massive tournament, one, because this is going to be the dress rehearsal for the all-important T20 World Cup, and also because India are going to be playing arch rivals Pakistan in that tournament that will be played in the UAE in the early part of September. What the BCCI has done today is announced a 15-member squad that will represent India at that Continental Championship. Let me first quickly run you through that 15-member squad. And overall, there don't seem to be any massive surprises. It's a team that is led by Suryakumar Yadav, a captain who has really taken this team a notch above the rest when it comes to the shortest format of the game. This is a team that will be there, and it'll have Shubman Gill as the deputy of Suryakumar Yadav, also packed with a lot of other batters in an explosive Abhishek Sharma that we see. There is Tilak Verma, another very explosive batter, the all-rounder in Hardik Pandya. You've got another all-rounder in Shivam Dube. So that is the shape that this team is taking at the moment. Then the wicket-keeper that you have, two of them in Jitesh Sharma, Sanju Samsung, spin bowling all-rounder in Akshar Patel, two spin wizards in Kuldeep Yadav, Varun Chakravarti, and then you've got a power-packed hitter in Rinku Singh there, Jasprit Bumrah, of course, your biggest match winner, and two other fast bowlers that you have in Harshit Rana and Arshdeep Singh. So that is the 15-member squad, which at the moment is looking like the strongest squad that there is. Sunil Gavaskar, our cricket analyst, is also joining us live on the program. But before we go to Mr. Gavaskar, let us just set the stage and give you a lowdown as to what really happened. Why is it that the selectors went with one particular member and decided to omit the other? Plenty of names that the chief selector and his fellow selectors had to scrutinize, and we got an idea from him and the captain in Suryakumar Yadav what the roadmap for the tournament will be for India, and of course going forward in the shortest format of the game. There were some names that were straight walk-ins, but the inclusion of some makes for a very interesting conversation. Amongst them is Shubman Gill. Right then, as we mentioned earlier, plenty of discussion points when it comes to the 15-member squad that the Indian selectors have picked. Joining us to discuss that, former India captain, our cricket analyst in Mr. Sunil Gavaskar. Saibhai, first let's talk about the biggest talking point at the moment, and that is the return of Shubman Gill into the T20 setup. For you, is it par for the course or a bit surprising, you'd say?
No, not surprising at all. Look, a man who scored 750 runs just barely about 2 weeks ago, he cannot be excluded from the team because his form is such good, in such good space. Also, not to forget that he's done really well in the IPL, which concluded just before the tour to England. So all in all, I think it's a very, very good inclusion. And also to give him the responsibility of the vice captain is also telling him that in the future, he could also be leading the T20 side. I think it's a very, very good selection.
That was going to be my next question, Saibhai. Do you think the fact that he's been looked at as a future captain would have gone a long way, because it was a shootout between Yashasvi, Jaiswal and Shubman Gill? Because Shubman is your test captain, and probably after the 2026 World Cup, you might have a transition when it comes to T20 captaincy. So rather than have Gill come exactly at that time after the tournament, have him ease into the job as a vice captain, do you think that could have been the thought process?
That certainly would be. That is, also recognizing, his potential as a captain. What we've seen in England, very, very impressive. Of course, he's got a long way to go, but very impressive the way he handled the team, handled the pressure in his first series as captain, and yet scored over 750 runs. So that tells you how he's handled the pressure. And so I think clearly by appointing him as a vice captain to Suryakumar Yadav made a lot of sense.
Right, Saibhai, we seem to have lost your audio. What we'll try and do is we'll try and reconnect with Mr. Gavaskar. Saibhai, can you hear me now? Can you say something? I'm just rechecking the audio.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, now we can hear you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, so I said, I was saying that making him the vice captain is, yeah.
Yes, Sahiba, we can hear you. Just go ahead while we also fix your frame. Your audio is there for all of our viewers to hear. You could go ahead. Okay, I think we
Hello?
seem to be having. Yes, Sahiba, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Hello?
Sahiba, can you hear me now? Yeah,
Ah,
now it seems to be back, the connection. Yes, please go ahead. Sahiba, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. You could go ahead now
Yeah, so
with the
what I was
Shubman
saying
Gill
is that Shubman
captaincy.
Gill has shown with the vice captaincy that he is going to be the captain of the Indian team as well in the future, and it's always good to have him take the responsibility just a little bit earlier.
Okay, the reasons I think a lot of people are talking about this selection, and the reason has become a talking point is because if you take a look at Yashasvi Jaiswal's number, and I'm comparing them to Shubman Gill's, we've got those numbers as well, and we'll have them up on the screen as well. In the IPL, it's nothing much to choose from between Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal. But once you take a look at those T20 international numbers, Yashasvi's numbers have been phenomenal. Not only does he average slightly more than a Shubman Gill, his strike rate is phenomenal, where Gill is at 130 and 164 is where Yashasvi Jaiswal is operating. So just looking at that squad that Suryakumar Yadav has assembled in the last few months, a team that is really batting at a very high strike rate, do you think that Yashasvi felt like a more natural fit to this team than a Shubman Gill?
You can only pick 11 in the playing 11, and you can only pick 15 in a squad. Somebody has to miss out. That's just one of those things in Indian cricket. So no point, going on about whether A or B or C should have been there. This is now our team. I think this is the one thing that we all must realize. We can have all our opinions before the selection committee meets. Once the selection committee has met, once they've selected the team, we should back it fully. We shouldn't be saying he should have been there, B should have been there, because that only creates controversy, which nobody needs. Certainly, the players don't need.
The reason, Sahiba, we're asking about a lot of these players is because, some of them, as you mentioned, that, India is blessed with an abundance of talent. A lot of them might feel a bit unfortunate to have missed out in this format, considering that they've been doing rather well. Let's take a look at what now the 11 could be. We have an idea of what the 15 is. In fact, we have the definite 15 with us. Let's try and look at that 11. And the first thought that crosses my mind is that of a Sanju Samson. Now you've got a Gill, who's your vice captain. He's definitely probably going to be opening with an Abhishek Sharma, who's been outstanding. At 3, you've got a Tilak Verma. You also have Suryakumar Yadav there. Does this mean that someone like a Sanju Samson, who was your first choice wicketkeeper, now misses out on that first choice 11?
Not necessarily. He can still be in the team at somebody batting down the order. He can be batting at maybe 5 or 6. He could be doing that as well. So I don't see why he should be left out. After all, he's a wicket keeper. So I don't see any reason about worrying about Sanju Samson's batting position. Sanju is a very, very gifted player. He can adapt himself, whether he's opening the batting. He was batting down the order for RR as well. When Suryavanshi and Jaiswal were opening. So he is used to batting down the order as well. So yes, I think we shouldn't be too worried about Sanju Samson. He's a class act.
Okay, that's really interesting, as Mr. Gavaskar says, that probably you can find a way to fit in a Sanju Samson as well in the 11. Sahibai, if I can, press you to give your first choice 11, if you had to pick a first choice 11, what would it be?
What I would, obviously, your first choice 11 is going to depend on a lot of things. Even your batting order will depend on a lot of things, like what the pitch is like, who the opposition is, what is the opposition's attack, bowling attack, for example. Do they have too many left-handers? Do they have spinners? And accordingly, you can shift your batting up and down. But I guess the two certainties would be Abhishek as well as Shubman Gill, the two Punjab boys opening the batting together. That would be my opening pair. And then number 3 would be, again, 3 and 4 would be Tilak Verma and Suryakumar Yadav. If a left-hander gets out, Tilak Verma comes into bat. If a right-hander gets out, Suryakumar Yadav comes into bat. That would be my top 4. And then depending on what the score is, And what you need, either you put Hardik Pandya a little bit ahead, or Sanju Samson goes into bat. There is also somebody like Akshar Patel who can come in and bat. How well he batted in the final of the T20 World Cup in Barbados. So the batting depth is quite deep. So that would be the way to go. And as far as the bowling is concerned, I would look at going with Arshdeep as well as Jasprit Bumrah to open the bowling, and also have Akshar Patel, Hardik Pandya, of course, Akshar as the all-rounder, Akshar Patel as another all-rounder, and Kuldeep and Varun Chakravarti. So the guys who would miss out for the first game from the 15 would be, say, Dubey, Jitesh, Arshit, and Rinku Singh. I know it's a little bit tough on these guys, but then that's what it is. Like I said earlier, only 11 can play, and I think this would be the best 11 to go, at least at the start of the tournament.
That's a very interesting 11 that Mr. Gavaskar picks, probably the 11 that the Indian team can go in with as well. Saiva, what we'll try and do is try and re-establish that connection, because while we can hear you, we really can't see your visuals at the moment. So I'd request you to just rejoin that link once again. But just to run you through the squad, or the 11 that Mr. Gavaskar has made, he's gone on to have someone like Abhishek and Shubman Gill open. He's got a Tilak Verma in that 11, Suryakumar Yadav at number 4. Then there's Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel that he's gone in the middle order, and he believes that's a very flexible middle order. 2 fast bowler that you've got in Arshdeep as well as Jasprit Bumrah, and then he's gone in with 2 spinners in Kuldeep Yadav, Varun Chakravarti. That's going to be very interesting if the Indian team does go in with those 2 out-and-out spinners as well. Plenty more to come with Mr. Gavaskar, but let's also turn our attention to the other big talking point that happened with the announcement of the Indian 15 for the Asia Cup. And remember, there are no bilateral ties, no sharing of water, no diplomatic engagement, but cricket stands tall between India and Pakistan. While there was no official word with regards to the tournament till now, the BCCI, by announcing the squad, has established that India will take part in the tournament. And with an extension of that, it also means that India will be playing Pakistan. But what about the anger and isolation tactics towards the foe? As things stand, the 2 countries will have a go at each other on the cricket field on the 14th of September, and that's a far cry from what we've witnessed so far, where there has been no sort of cultural engagement between the 2 countries. There's hostility that we've witnessed on the border as well. Mr. Gavaskar is still with us. Saiba, your views now, it's pretty much now guaranteed that India will play Pakistan in the Asia Cup. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts would be that it is the government which has to give the instructions to the BCCI. The BCCI will follow what the government says, and the players will also follow what the BCCI says. I think it is going to be that kind of a situation. So everything depends on what the government of India decides.
Do you still feel that there could be a situation where India still pull out of that game versus Pakistan? Do you still see there is a scope there? Because now that the team is announced, everyone thinks that it is on track now.
Well, it could happen, but that, like I said, it is entirely up to the government of India to tell the BCCI what to do.
Do you think, Saibai, situations like these, it leaves the players a bit vulnerable because, they'll be subjected to social media abuse, but they themselves can't take a call, as you just mentioned. So it leaves the players a bit vulnerable. We saw that in that Legends League game as well, and last moment the players decided to pull out.
Well, I mean, if the government has taken a call, I don't see how the players can be criticized or commented upon, because the players at the end of the day are contracted to the BCCI. The BCCI will be taking instructions from the government of India, and so it entirely depends on that. I don't see what the players are helpless in this. The players would be they've been selected to play in the Asia Cup, and so they have to go out over there. And if the government says you have to play you have to play all the matches, then that is what the players will do.
All right, Mr. Gavaskar, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us. We were looking at that team selection, the 15-member squad that has been picked by the Indian selectors for the Asia Cup. Saiba, before I let you go, one quick word. Do you think this is an Asia Cup winning squad?
Very much so. This is a fabulous squad. This is a squad which has got so much of variety. It's got depth in batting. It's got
Okay.
variety in batting, left and right hand combination, and the bowling as well. Look at the variety in the bowling as well. Fantastic team it
Okay.
is.
Okay, we leave it at that. Mr. Gavaskar, thank you so much for joining us. That's all that we have in this special where we're looking back at the Asia Cup.